Part 167. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1661. My Lord, I have been promoted to the peak quasi-sacred realm. Master, me too. Master, I too. My Lord, I have been promoted to the 2-star sanctuary. The Dark Knight Unicorn, the Beast Kunpeng, and the Hell 3-headed dog were all low-level quasi-sacred realms before, but this time they took off in waves, and they were all promoted to the ultimate quasi-sacred realm by 3 levels. And the little golden dragon Aoguang was originally a 1-star sanctuary, this time he was promoted to a 2-star sanctuary. It was a great breakthrough. My Lord, I have been promoted from the 10-star Emperor realm to the high-level quasi-sage realm. Huang Shi, the leader of the Emperor's Legion, walked over excitedly and said that he was originally a 10-star Emperor Master, and his rapid advancement to the high-level quasi-sacred realm is equivalent to an increase of 3 levels. My Lord, I have been promoted from a 1-star sanctuary to a 2-star sanctuary. Huang Gan, the deputy commander of the Emperor's Legion, stood up abruptly, his eyes sparkling with excitement. Before following the Lord, he was in the quasi-sacred realm. He originally thought that it would be impossible to break into the holy realm in this life, but now not only has he broken, but he has broken it thoroughly. In less than half a year, they broke through one after another, and now they have been promoted to the 2-star sanctuary, and the excitement is spontaneously born. Master, Lord, I have been promoted from the middle-level quasi-sacred realm to the high-level quasi-sacred realm. Huang Qian, a black-skinned barren girl, bit her red lips and said with a flushed face, looking extraordinarily discouraged. Everyone also accepts the baptism of gifts from the crown of the Supreme Rage God. Why are they promoted so many? Those 3 divine pets were originally low-level quasi-sacred realms, but she was a mid-level quasi-sacred realm at first. But now, everything has changed. She has only been promoted to a high-level quasi-sacred realm, and the 3 pets under the Master's command have all been promoted to the ultimate quasi-sacred realm by 3 levels, and the gap has been completely widened up. Is it because my belief under the crown of the great rage god is not pure? That's why the effect of accepting the baptism under the crown of the rage god is so bad. Yes. It must be so. Huang Qian, a dark-skinned barren girl, thought in her heart. Her face could not help showing a look of nervousness and guilt. She bit her red lips tightly, and her eyes were full of sorrow. Master, I am guilty. I wasted such a good resource and opportunity. My Lord, you won't abandon me. As the black-skinned barren girl Huang Qian spoke, her face became more and more terrified, then swallowed a mouthful of saliva, and knelt down in front of Fang Fan tremblingly. Fang Fan blinked, eyes full of confusion. What kind of operation is this? He really doesn't quite understand. Are you thinking too much? Fang Fan shrugged and said silently, while talking, he also shrugged, this feeling is too real. Master, it's all my fault. I have the least level, I have a problem with your belief, I am a sinner of the desolate race, As the black-skinned barren girl Huang Qian spoke, her eye sockets gradually turned rosy. This silly girl is still thinking wildly. It has nothing to do with your beliefs. You are the fanatic with the highest belief under my command, there is no doubt about it. As for the god pets and Huangqi and Huangshi, their promotion rate is large enough. That's because they are all servants of the gods, so the effect of being baptized with the gift of the gods will be better. Believe in yourself, you are always the best. Hearing what the black-skinned desolate girl Huang Qian said, Fang Fan suddenly realized, and then explained from the side. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1662. But the fact is that Huang Qian, a girl from the black-skinned desolate race, really thinks too much. She is a 10th level mad believer, able to absorb 120% of the energy of gift baptism, but the four great gods, Huangqi and Huang, are all God believers, with 10 times the effect bonus. Naturally, they cannot be compared. It is not easy for Huang Qian, a girl from the black-skinned desolate race, to be directly promoted from the middle-level quasi-sacred realm to the high-level quasi-sacred realm. In other words, even if it is a low-grade gift of the 4th grade, the effect is quite good, which makes Fang Fan have expectations for the effect of a higher quality gift. After the gift of the Rage God ended, everyone returned to their original positions, and at this moment, Shen Zhan fell into a state of tension again. My lord, there is news from the Temple of the Alliance of Light that several of our strongholds have been pulled out by the enemy. On the frontal battlefield, the White Tiger Legion and the Suzaku Legion suffered heavy losses, with tens of millions of casualties. Now the major armies of the Dark Temple are frantically deploying their troops, and they are going through such a turbulent journey that they are about to reach the Holy City of Light. Now the entire Temple of the Alliance of Light is in chaos. No one would have thought that the main army of the Temple of Light would be so vulnerable. Hao Yun sighed softly, while speaking, the helplessness on his face showed more real. As a member of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, I naturally hope that the Temple of the Alliance of Light can win the battle of gods. As the victor, there will always be more rewards. But now the situation is out of control, and if one is not careful, the whole situation will collapse directly. You mean that the Temple of Darkness is dispatching all the troops, and the Holy City of Light has really been breached in one fell swoop? In this way, aren't they very empty inside? A place only half a day away from us, is there a Demon Heart City? In Demon Heart City, there is also a branch of the Dark Temple. As Fang Fan spoke, his eyes became sharper and the smiles on the corners of his mouth involuntarily increased. Opportunities are often hidden in turbulent situations. My lord, what do you mean? Don't you want to go, to attack Demon Heart City and destroy the branch of the Dark Temple? My lord, think twice. You must not be impulsive. The branch hall of the Dark Temple, there will be at least a 3rd-rank red-robed Dark Envoy stationed there, there will be a 2nd-rank Cardinal Dark Envoy. Not to mention that there must be knights and major legions guarding the branch of the Dark Temple. As far as our strength is concerned, it is not enough to fight against them. My lord. Hao Yun took a breath, and was shocked by Fang Fan's crazy idea. This is a dead end. The Dark faction in Demon Heart City is much stronger than a Bronze Legion. If it was normal, I wouldn't think so much, but now, is it normal? Fang Fan smiled slightly, and the smile on his face inexplicably became more. Perhaps the Dark faction legions stationed in Demon Heart City were many and very strong. But now the Temple of Darkness is frantically gathering strength, trying to break through the Holy City of Light in one fell swoop. Even destroy the Temple of the Alliance of Light. Now this time is our chance. If we can seize this opportunity, we may be able to create a miracle. While Fang Fan was talking, the smiles on the corners of his mouth inexplicably increased. Such thoughts were churning in his mind, and a bold plan was gradually formed. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1663. He needs Zhan Suan. And now, an excellent opportunity to accumulate battle honors is in front of him. Destroy the branch of the Dark Temple. You can imagine how much turmoil this will cause. What will happen to the situation at that time? After a little thought, it will be completely clear. Opportunity is taken. If you miss this opportunity, the next time you want to meet such a good opportunity, you don't know that you have to wait until the year of the monkey. All in all, an opportunity not to be missed. We must firmly grasp this opportunity. Fang Fan thought to himself, and there was a flash of light in his eyes. My lord, I. Hao Yun swallowed a mouthful of saliva, completely frightened by Fang Fan's crazy thoughts, and could only let out a trembling sigh at this moment. This feeling is not too real. Hall Master Fang Fan, I support you. No break, no stand. If the holy city of light is really broken by the temple of darkness, we will also be completely besieged. Instead of being forced to wait to die, it's better to take the initiative. Maybe there is still a chance. Tianhu Meyer, the saint of the Tianhu tribe, stepped forward excitedly and became Fang Fan's staunchest supporter. Fang Fan glanced at Tianhu Meyer and nodded secretly. He has always admired this woman's military united front ability, and he can only say that she is indeed unique in these aspects. Hao Yun watched Fang Fan and Tianhu Meyer sing together, and suddenly knew that this matter was a foregone conclusion. Basically there was no possibility of any changes. My lord, if you must attack the Demon Heart City and the branch halls of the Dark Temple, I think it is best to call the 308th Bronze Legion to act together. This will also increase the strength of our troops and increase the chance of winning. Even if something unexpected happens at that time, with the strength of a Bronze Legion in hand, you can take it easy. Hao Yun stood respectfully in front of Fang Fan, and immediately expressed his thoughts. Fang Fan nodded secretly. In fact, he had thought about this question a long time ago. The more strength, the more possibility of success. This is just an obvious thing. This is inevitable. I will bring all the troops of the 308th Bronze Legion with me. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, then said indifferently. Master Fang Fan, Hot Spring, head of the 308th Bronze Legion, will he agree? What we can fully control now is only the 1st Black Iron Legion and the 3rd Black Iron Legion, and the remaining 8 Black Iron Legions are still under the command of the Hot Spring Legion. What if he blocks it? Tianhu Meyer gritted her teeth, and then expressed her concerns. There is no doubt that her concerns are normal, and from a comprehensive perspective, they are. It would be best if he agrees. If he doesn't agree. There was a fierce light in Fang Fan's eyes. Naturally, he couldn't slack off his military plans. My lord, can we request the Silver Legion of our superiors? If we can get the approval of the head of the Silver Legion, and they exclude a few Bronze Legion to assist us, our chances will be even greater. Hao Yun's eyes lit up, and he immediately expressed his thoughts. It is true that if you can get the support of the Azure Dragon Legion and the 2nd Silver Legion, the winning rate will be greatly improved, but the possibility of this matter is too small to be practical, almost impossible. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1664. This idea is not feasible. Leaving aside the attitude of the Azure Dragon Legion and the 2nd Silver Legion. Even if they want to send troops now, I'm afraid it will be very difficult. At present, the army of the Dark Temple is approaching the Holy City of Light, and the Holy City of Light is in danger. As the main force of the Temple of the Alliance of Light, the Azure Dragon Legion will naturally go all out to support it at this time. It goes without saying. The reason why the 308th Bronze Legion did not receive the transfer order is that on the one hand, the superior Silver Legion felt that we had already suffered more than half of the casualties, and that it was not very meaningful to be dispatched there. The portal, the geographical location is particularly critical, so I chose not to be sent back to guard the Holy City of Light. Furthermore, soldiers are precious and fast. If you really wait until the superior Silver Legion sends troops, the Demon Heart City may have already received the news, and then the surprise attack effect will not be achieved. Fang Fan shook his head indifferently, and conducted an overall analysis from all aspects. Relatively speaking, this kind of analysis is still very powerful, at least it represents some clear concepts. My lord is really far-sighted. I didn't think of these questions. It's because I didn't think carefully. Hao Yun couldn't help showing embarrassment on his face. He originally wanted to come up with a relatively complete plan to prove himself, but he didn't expect it to be full of loopholes. It has nothing to do with you, what you have done is good enough. Order the major legions to enter the first level combat readiness. Assemble the Blood Shuro Legion, the 6 heroes, the colorful dragon Annie, Nai Yan. Follow me to the central army tent. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, then made a decisive decision and issued a series of military orders. Immediately, he led all the strong men in the sanctuary under his command to rush directly towards the central military tent in the core area of Xingyu Island. 10 minutes later. Xingyu Island, the core area, the central military tent. What did you say? Let me cooperate with you in sending troops to Demon Heart City. Are you crazy? With our little force, the defenders of Xingyu Island are already trembling, and they are going to attack the core city of the Dark Camp. Did you know that there is a branch of the Dark Temple in Demon Heart City? Demon Heart City must be heavily guarded. Under normal circumstances, at least half of the Silver Level Legion is stationed, plus the guards of the Dark Temple. You know how strong their troops are. Combined with the advantages of geographical advantage, even a fully formed Silver Legion would not dare to attack Demon Heart City easily. Crazy, really crazy. I don't care if you want to die, don't take me anyway. Wenquan, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, shook his head quickly. His face could not help showing a look of horror. While talking, his body trembled more and more. In his opinion, this is a mortal battle situation. Since it is a mortal situation, there is no need to continue to get involved in it, because I really can't afford to be involved. Inspector Fang Fan, you are too eager for quick success. Demon Heart City is not something we can attack. I advise you to give up this unrealistic idea. You have to be a little self-aware, don't you? Don't you really think that if you are lucky enough to defeat a bronze-ranked legion in the Dark Camp, you can be unscrupulous? Xianan, Deputy 4th Rank Acting Archbishop of the Temple of the Light Alliance, said disdainfully. While talking, he immediately hid towards the hot spring, looking a little guilty. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1665. After being beaten up by Fang Fan last time, I felt a psychological shadow, so in every aspect, I wanted to keep a low profile, and I didn't dare to make any high-profile actions, for fear that I would be directly abolished every minute. Hiding behind the hot spring of the 308 Bronze Legion commander can more or less give him a certain sense of security, at least not to be directly grabbed and needed by Fang Fan. So what? What do you want to say? The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, with a strange expression on his face. As Fang Fan spoke, he glanced directly at Xianan, and he backed away several steps in fright. Head of the Hot Spring Legion. Now is the time when the temple is in danger. If Demon Heart City can be destroyed, and the Dark Temple branch in Demon Heart City will be destroyed, it will definitely relieve the pressure on the Holy City of Light. This is also what the Temple of the Alliance of Light has always advocated. You obstruct in every possible way. Is there any selfishness? Fang Fan gave a cold drink, narrowed his eyes and looked at the hot spring. His meaning was clearly expressed. If possible, Fang Fan would not want to make the relationship so rigid, but sometimes, it is really unavoidable. It can only be said that he committed suicide to the extreme, and Fang Fan also felt quite helpless. Humph. Fang Fan's inspector should not use the temple to suppress me. I only know that my legion will never mobilize a single soldier without an order. Including the 1st Black Iron Legion and the 3rd Black Iron Legion. Hot Spring said something coldly, with a firm will. Is that so? It seems that the head of the Hot Spring army is really unwilling to cooperate. Fang Fan secretly narrowed his eyes, The murderous intent was crazily concentrated in his eyes. "Invite out the guests of those hot spring army commanders." Fang Fan clapped his hands, and then Luo Hu and a group of bloodsherers escorted the two of them over. These two men were wearing the military uniforms of the 308th Bronze Legion, but they kept their heads down and couldn't see their faces clearly. "Fang Fan. What are you doing? This is mine. What do you want to do?" Onsen's complexion suddenly changed dramatically, and there was even a trace of nervousness in his pupils. "Is it? Your people? Your people all believe in the dark gods. Could it be that the head of the hot spring army has also begun to believe in the dark gods? Interesting." The sneer on Fang Fan's face became more and more frequent, and the display of such will has become very clear. I don't know what you mean. Don't talk nonsense and label me indiscriminately. I have always been extremely loyal to the gods of light." Hot Spring still seemed a little stubborn, rolled his eyeballs, and said sternly, "Ridiculous. In front of me, don't pretend. These two are priests of the Dark Temple, they came here to persuade you to surrender. And according to my investigation, you have promised them that once the army of the Dark Temple arrives, you will join forces with their army and annihilate me. Then hand over Xingyu Island. Open it directly. I didn't expect our hot spring army commander to have such great ambitions before." The corner of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly. At this moment, he has grasped the trump card, which is equivalent to grasping the initiative to some extent. I'm not, I didn't, don't talk nonsense. I never promised them to surrender immediately. You are talking nonsense." Hot Spring's body trembled slightly, and he quickly defended himself. "You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1666. It's just such an excuse, quite a feeling that there is no silver 300 taels here. As for Fang Fan, he actually didn't know about the so-called deal between the clergy of the two dark temples and the hot springs, and it was just a scam just now. Up. It is not difficult to see from Hot Spring's words that he really wanted to join the Dark Temple, but he is still hesitating and has not made a decision. However, he didn't want to do things too badly, so he left a way out for himself. Instead of beheading the two priests from the Dark Camp, he secretly let them go. It's just that he was cut off by Fang Fan halfway. Generally speaking, this is the process. As soon as Hot Spring finished speaking, his complexion suddenly turned pale. He is not stupid, he naturally knows that he has said something wrong at this moment, but it is too late to repent, and he has completely fallen into a passive state. I didn't mean that. Anyway, I have nothing to do with them. The 308th Bronze Legion cannot be controlled by you. The Hot Spring quickly waved his hands, wanting to wash himself clean. It's just that it's already like this now, and it's completely unnecessary to say these things. What is the specific situation? You know better than me. I didn't come here today to discuss with you. You cooperate best. If you don't cooperate, then I can kill you and replace you. After all, I am also the inspector of the 308th Bronze Legion. If you die, I can control the entire army. As for you, you have the heads of the priests of these two dark temples. It is completely said that you have fornicated the Dark Temple and wanted to surrender the island. I captured it in one fell swoop and then wiped it out. You should be able to get a wave of rewards from the temple by then. Fang Fan smiled, very happily. When the words are over, all words will end. You. Hot Spring couldn't help gnashing his teeth, his complexion turned red and turned white, and he seemed to be vacillating. Are you getting carried away? Just relying on these small fish and shrimps under your hands, you want to kill me. Before obliterating me, I have already killed you. It's tearing your face apart anyway, isn't it? At that time, I can also take the heads of these two priests of the Dark Temple to claim credit for the Temple of the Alliance of Light, saying that you secretly passed the song and wanted to betray the temple, and I was caught and killed on the spot. Hot Spring changed his words a bit, and seemed to be a bit cunning. It's just that such cunning is no threat to Fang Fan. Silver-armored puppet. Fang Fan snorted secretly, and the silver-armored puppet of the five-star sanctuary realm directly appeared on the stage. The aura of the five-star sanctuary directly covers the surrounding area. It was enough to show up once, and Fang Fan quickly closed it. Another 10 seconds, more than 100,000 star cores are gone. After taking out the silver-armored puppet, it is enough to force it, but it consumes too much star core. You still think I can't kill you? How much do you think you can achieve? Still feel invincible? Fang Fan waved his hand, and then the 7 blood Azuras, 6 heroes, Colorful Dragon Annie, Huang Gan, and Xiao Jinlong of the Blood Azura Legion revealed their cultivation bases. The 7 blood Shuras and the 6 heroes are all 1-star sanctuary realms. Huanggan and Xia Jinlong are 2-star sanctuary realms. Colorful Dragon Annie 3-star sanctuary realm. Nearly 20 sacred generals suddenly erupted in momentum, and the entire central military tent suddenly became silent. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1667. How is it possible? Hot Spring, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, was stunned for a moment, and he was in a state of horror. The scene in front of him made him feel unbelievable, and he even felt a deep sense of panic. Nearly 20 sanctuary-level powerhouses, including a 3-star sanctuary, 2 2-star sanctuary and dozens of 1-star sanctuary. And the cold-faced silver-armored general in front of him just exploded with 5-star sanctuary-level combat power. Such a configuration can even assemble several bronze-level legions. He appeared before. The existence of the 5-star sanctuary realm that I perceived before was him, that's him. At the time, I thought it was Archbishop Nangong Lei Hong I who was supporting you, but now it seems that I was thinking too much. Wenquan, the head of the 308 Bronze Legion, took a deep breath, and the condensed light in his eyes began to flicker frantically. Such thoughts drove him crazy for a while. The feeling is also very deep. So you know what to do now. As Fang Fan spoke, he raised his sword and cut off the heads of the priests of the 2 dark temples. The smell of blood colluded in the air. The complexion of the hot spring changed suddenly, and the body trembled unnaturally. The sense of stalemate in his heart was obvious. In terms of the momentum of the confrontation, he lost, a complete defeat. He glanced at the 2 headless corpses on the ground, and suddenly fell into silence. Now he has completely lost contact with the Dark Temple, and because of the death of the liaison personnel of the 2 Dark Temples, he will definitely be regarded as a diehard by the Dark Temple. Even if he wants to join the Dark Temple now, I'm afraid no one will accept him. All roads are blocked. I can cooperate with you to send troops. But. No but. Before Hot Spring finished speaking, Fang Fan interrupted directly. Not only is there no but you also need to be used by me with this holy slave card. Otherwise how do I know when you're going to stab me in the back? If that's the case, wouldn't I be at a loss? I will kill you now when I have the opportunity, so what are you doing with this hidden danger? Unless you prove it's useful to me, then don't resist, let me use this holy level slave card. As Fang Fan spoke, the corners of his mouth rose silently. This was the ultimate goal. He is very sure about killing the hot springs. With Na Yan, a mysterious star disciple, he can instantly reduce the combat power of the hot springs by half, and then double the combat power of the silver-armored puppets. The sanctuary state is weakened, and it can be instantly killed. It's just that if this is the case, it will take a lot of time for the silver-armored puppet. Every second is the supply of more than 10,000 star cores. In addition, the hot spring is also a 4-star sanctuary, so it is a pity to kill it like this. If it can be used for me by using the Holy Level War Slave card, it will naturally be the best ending. Holy War Nuka. What? You want me to be your war slave? Fang Fan. What do you mean? You are insulting my personality. Trampling my bottom line. I will not agree. Even if you kill me. I have the same attitude. 308 Bronze Legion Commander Hot Spring's complexion changed suddenly, and he suddenly became irritable. From being the head of the 308th Bronze Legion to becoming a war slave, there is naturally a period of unbalanced mentality, which is normal. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1668. Okay, let's kill you then. It's easy to kill you anyway, it's not difficult. Fang Fan shrugged, with a faint smile on his face. He still had to show the gesture that should be shown. After killing you, I will put your body and the heads of these 2 priests of the Dark Temple together, and then send them back to the temple. Well, you will always bear the reputation of a traitor. As for how to deal with it later, let the temple deal with it by itself. Fang Fan shrugged and smiled, and the smiles on his face became more inexplicably. You, how can you do this? You are shameless. You are despicable. 308 The head of the Bronze Legion, Wenquan, gradually revealed a look of horror in his pupils. He had no doubts about Fang Fan's words. If he really followed this pattern, he would be considered useless. Not only did he lose his life, but he also became a traitor to the temple and a disgrace to the family after his death. I am afraid that even the corpse will be completely trampled on in the end. These thoughts gradually churned in his mind. Hot Spring subconsciously swallowed a mouthful of saliva, clenched his hands tightly, and his body trembled more and more. What holy level war slave card, can it really make me his war slave? No. This possibility is very small. Generally, even if you donate your soul blood in the sanctuary realm, the constraints are not very restrictive. Even if he destroys the soul blood, I will only suffer a little injury, but can't hurt lives. If that's the case, I don't need to worry about this matter, it's completely unnecessary. Phew, the situation is gradually becoming clearer. I'll hang on for a while and say I'm willing to surrender. It's not impossible to wait for the right opportunity to make plans. Why hang on a tree? Hot Spring, head of the 308 Bronze Legion, thought to himself. The smiles on his face grew more and more, and all kinds of thoughts boiled in his mind, making him completely excited. I can be your war slave. I am willing to surrender. I obey unconditionally. Onsen stepped forward with a serious face, and his attitude changed dramatically in an instant. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes secretly. He can probably guess why this Hot Spring has such a big change of attitude. Maybe he still has illusions. Do you want to lie dormant first, and then slowly figure it out? The idea is beautiful, but the meaning is not very great. Or to put it another way, it was a dead end. Fang Fan pretended to be completely ignorant, and the smiles on his face became more and more. The head of the Hot Spring Army can figure it out, that's the best. In the future, we will cooperate wholeheartedly and fight for the temple. The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised silently, and there was going to be another powerful slave in the 4-star sanctuary realm soon, so it was really not too comfortable. The head of the Hot Spring Army, the head of the army, you can't give in. You gave in, what should I do? You are the head of the 308th Bronze Legion, and no one can replace you. If you choose to resist now, you still have a chance. We still have hundreds of thousands of elites from the 8 Black Iron Legions. Why do you have to be a war slave? This is a road of no return. Xianan, the deputy 4th rank cardinal of the Temple of the Light Alliance and the former supervisor of the 1st Black Iron Legion, panicked and rushed over to warn him. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1669. From his point of view, in the 308th Bronze Legion, he has completely fallen out with Fang Fan, and the only one who can protect him now is the head of the Hot Spring Legion. What will usher in is Fang Fan's infinite revenge. Thinking of this, the fear on Xianan's face became even worse. He didn't want such a scene to appear in front of his eyes. You don't need to talk too much about the commander of the army. Step aside. Hot Spring frowned, and reprimanded angrily. His layout and planning have been completed, and he is naturally upset when he comes to make trouble at this time. Master Hot Spring Legion, I know that you are being persecuted. We rushed out with the army, reported this matter to the Silver Legion, and asked the head of the Silver Legion to deal with him. At that time, we can also separate the relationship. Well, although there will be some risks, but at least it's worth it. Xianan was still screaming hard. He felt a sense of panic inexplicably. At this moment, if he was not careful, he really collapsed. There can be no accidents. I said, let you go. Aren't you so annoying? There is no need for you to talk nonsense about labor and management. Hot Spring was full of anger, kicked Xianan, and yelled angrily. If this entanglement continues, maybe this Fang Fan will know my plan. What if he doesn't accept me as a war slave, but just let me die? Hot Spring glanced at the silver-armored man in front of him, and then took a deep breath. Although he could no longer perceive any powerful aura from the silver-armored man, the 5-star saint who was shown by the silver-armored man just now, the aura of the realm is very real. In addition to the nearly 20 strong sanctuary experts of all levels around, Hot Spring thought that he was not sure of escaping. People have self-knowledge, and at this point, you must collapse your mentality. Xianan, who was kicked out by Yuju, blinked, looking a little desperate. No one believes what he said now. In this situation, all kinds of anxiety completely exploded in my mind. Fang Fan supervises me. I admire your strength and wisdom. I volunteer to be a member of your command, become your war slave, and fight against the Dark Camp. Onsen said solemnly, and while speaking, the expression on his face became more and more serious, which seemed to be very sincere. Fang Fan smiled indifferently. For him, the decoration requires the Hot Spring to cooperate with him to use the Holy Level War Slave card. As for the others, he really doesn't care. Because as long as you successfully use the Holy Battle card, everything will be settled. All conspiracies and tricks will also be reduced to nothing. Very good. Let go of your will, don't resist. I'm going to start. Don't worry, as long as you don't choose to resist with your own will, there won't be any pain. Relax, relax a little more. Use the Holy Battle card. Fang Fan snorted secretly, his eyes flickering. After Fang Fan finished speaking, the Holy War Nuka in his hand turned into a beam of white light and poured directly into the body of the Hot Spring, and then the white light spread directly on him. Ah, it hurts, my head, it hurts so much. Hot Spring gritted his teeth and yelled, his face gradually became ferocious. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, with a sneer on his face. This guy really has always been obedient and obedient. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1670. Let him let go of the will to resist, but unexpectedly he is still resisting forcibly. In this state, the mental power will be directly blocked, and there will be pain, which is also reasonable. Let go of your consciousness. Don't resist. If you continue to resist, you will soon become an idiot. If you want to be an idiot, try it. Fang Fan smiled coldly. As long as the reminder is in place, it is up to him whether he wants to believe it or not. If he forcibly uses his will to resist, Fang Fan will lose a holy war slave card, and this hot spring will also die due to a mental breakdown. This is a dilemma. I don't want to die. I still have a lot of things to do. I can't die. Worrying. I give up my will to resist. Hot Spring suddenly narrowed his eyes, and his complexion gradually became hideous and terrifying. While talking, the corners of his mouth twitched more and more. Give up. He, that's very good. Fang Fan gave a symbolic encouragement. Ding. Spent a holy level war slave card and successfully subdued a 4-star sanctuary level war slave. The system sound came from the ear. Everything is over. Fight hard for me from now on. I won't treat you badly. Otherwise, I will kill you at any time. You should be able to feel the strength of my control over you at this moment. Fang Fan looked at the hot spring, and said coldly again. Such thoughts were churning in his mind, and everything turned into what it should have been at the beginning. Me? No. It's not like this. Damn. Why can't I control my body? You, what the hell did you do to me? Can you control my soul? Hot Spring's eyes widened, and he was completely startled at this moment. While talking, his lips trembled, and he had completely fallen into a state of collapse. This is far from what he expected before. He originally thought that even if Fang Fan controlled a drop of his soul blood, at worst he would run away at the risk of being injured. Anyway, a drop of soul blood is no longer a fatal thing for a strong man in the sanctuary like him. But at this moment, he felt a sense of panic, as if he took that step, Fang Fan could kill him at any time. This feeling gradually became real. It seemed very real. You are my war slave, I control your actions, what's the problem? Could it be that you really thought I would be so stupid as to just ask for a few drops of your soul blood? There is no binding force at all. I will rely on you to continue to command the other 8 Black Iron level legions of the 308th Bronze Legion. If you do something wrong to me behind my back, I can't be defenseless at all. As a war slave, you must have the consciousness of being a war slave. Otherwise, you will be severely punished. While Fang Fan was talking, fierce glints appeared in his eyes. I do not want it. I don't really want to be your war slave. I am the head of the Bronze Legion of the Temple. I hold an army of 1 million. How dare you coerce me into becoming your war slave? If the Temple knows, it won't let you go. After learning that his plan had broken down, Hot Spring suddenly widened his eyes, with a look of resentment on his face. As he spoke, he moved directly towards Fang Fan, looking extremely unwilling.